What if I told you the entire global economy, all of it, runs on a concept as simple as an IOU? We're talking about bonds, and in the next 5 minutes, you're going to understand them better than 99% of people out there. Let's do this.
So when I say the word bonds, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most people, it's something kind of slow, probably complicated, definitely dusty. The financial version of an old armchair, especially when you compare it to the wild ride of the stock market.
But here's the thing, that boring perception, it's completely wrong. Bonds are the bedrock of the entire global economy. They are the invisible force that dictates your mortgage rate, the cost of your car loan, and even which way the stock market is headed. They're the quiet giant powering everything. To really get this, let's start with something you've probably done 100 times. Have you ever lent a friend, say, 20 bucks for lunch? You expect to get that same 20 bucks back, right? Well, congratulations. You've just understood the absolute core of how a bond works.
See, a bond is just a fancier, more structured version of that IOU. When you buy a bond, you are literally lending your money to a massive entity, like Apple, or even the entire US government. They promise to pay you back, and they'll give you a little extra, some interest for the trouble. In that transaction, you become the bank.
Okay, so what are the rules of this giant IOU? Well, it turns out every single bond, doesn't matter if it's from a tech giant or a tiny country, is built on 3 super simple parts. Get these 3 things, and you've basically unlocked the whole concept.
First up is the face value. You might also hear it called par value. Just think of this as the price tag on the loan. It's the original amount you're going to get back when the whole thing is paid off. For most bonds, this is a nice round $1,000.
Next, we have the coupon rate. Now this is the good part. This is your reward for lending the money in the first place. It's the fixed interest rate they pay you usually once or twice a year until the loan is done. So if you've got a 5% coupon on that $1,000 bond, that's a cool 50 bucks in your pocket every single year. And finally, the maturity date. This one's easy. It's the finish line. It's the exact date when the loan term officially ends, you get your last interest payment, and, most importantly, you get your original $1,000, that face value, right back in your hand.
All right, so you get the rules of the loan. But this is where it starts to get really interesting. Most people think there's only one way to make money with bonds. Nope, there are actually 2.
The first way is the obvious one. You just collect those steady interest payments right on schedule, like clockwork. But the second way is where the action is. You can actually sell your IOU to another investor before it's due. And if your timing is right, you can sell it for more than you paid for it.
And that idea brings us to the single most important rule in the bond world. Seriously, if you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, make it this. A bond's price and its yield are on a permanent seesaw. When one goes up, the other absolutely has to go down.
Here's why that makes perfect sense. Imagine you own a bond that pays you a 3% coupon. Pretty good. But then, suddenly the Federal Reserve raises rates and brand new bonds are being issued that pay 5%. Now, who on earth would want to buy your old 3% bond? Nobody. For you to sell it, you'd have to drop the price to make it a more attractive deal. And there it is. Rising interest rates crush the price of older existing bonds.
So now that you get the mechanics, let's zoom out a little. The bond market isn't just one thing. It's this huge universe with all kinds of different borrowers asking for a loan.
You've really got 3 main players. There are government bonds, like US Treasuries, which are widely considered the safest investment on planet Earth. Then you have municipal bonds. These are from your city or state, maybe to build a new bridge or school, and they often come with this amazing perk. The interest you earn is tax-free. And finally, corporate bonds, from companies you know and love, which have to pay you higher interest to convince you to take on a little more risk.
So how are you supposed to measure all that risk without having to read a 1,000-page financial report? Well, that is where credit ratings come in. They're basically a credit score, just like yours, but for massive corporations and entire countries.
And the scale is pretty simple. You have investment-grade bonds. These are from the most stable, reliable borrowers. And then you have junk bonds. And yeah, they're called that for a reason. There's a real chance they could go bust. But to tempt you to take that gamble, they have to offer much, much higher interest rates.
But here's a big mistake people make, thinking that the only risk is the borrower not paying you back. That's just scratching the surface. Even the safest bonds in the world have other risks you have to be watching for.
First, you've got interest rate risk, which we just covered. If rates go up, the value of your bond goes down. Then there's inflation risk. Your fixed payments just don't buy as much as they used to. We already know about default risk. And then there's a sneaky one called call risk. This is when the borrower decides to pay you back early, usually because rates have fallen, leaving you high and dry trying to find a new place to invest your money.
And if you're wondering how real these risks are, just look at 2022. Inflation was going crazy, so central banks around the world started hiking interest rates like there was no tomorrow. The result? The supposedly safe US bond market had a single worst year in history, falling more than 13%.
It just goes to show you, nothing is completely risk-free.
Okay, deep breath. You've got the theory down pat. You know the what, you know the why, and you definitely know the risks. So, how do you actually put this knowledge to work? How do you invest in this stuff?
You've really got two main paths. You can buy individual bonds, which gives you perfect predictability. You know exactly what your return will be if you just hold it to the end. Or you can buy bond funds, which are basically big baskets of hundreds of different bonds. They give you instant diversification and the flexibility to sell whenever you want. Now, if you're looking at a bond fund, there are two numbers you absolutely need to know. Average maturity is just what it sounds like, the average lifespan of all the bonds in the fund. But the really important one is duration. Think of duration as a risk meter for interest rates. A duration of 7, for example, means if interest rates tick up by 1%, the value of that fund is going to drop by about 7%. The higher the duration, the wilder the ride on that seesaw. At the end of the day, bonds are the ballast for your financial ship. They're designed to provide stability and safety to balance out the wild swings of other investments, like stocks. It all comes down to a trade-off. Are you looking for rock-solid stability, or are you willing to take on more risk for a higher potential payout?
So there you have it. The mystery is gone. You are no longer in the dark. You now speak the language of bonds. You get the risks and you get the rewards. So the only real question left is, now that you know the rules of the game, how are you going to use this powerful tool to build a more balanced financial future?